morning, everybody.
Good morning.
How are you today?
Well,
Doing great. So I hope you're in the right place. You had two options, so I feel love that 50% of you believe that you should be here. So I love that you chose to come in and be with me during this brief moment. I move around. I'm energetic. If you've ever seen me or you've met me, or if you've met my queen will tell you I am a walking exclamation point. So with that, I hope you're in the right place to learn about how to increase student achievement by improving school culture. My name is Charles Woods. I am the proud principal of Friendship Aspire Academy, located right here in the great city of Pine Bluff, 3911 South Hazel Street. I have good news and I have bad news. Good news is we have 3 kindergarten spots left for next year. Bad news is every other grade is full. We're at 240 for our anticipated enrollment for next year. So we have 3 kindergarten spots. So if you know 3 people that have 3 kindergartens, you might want to let them know, because we reached our goal and we're super excited about that. So I'm a techie, so I'm gonna we'll stop in between and ask questions, but if you want to, if you're able to do it, you can go to that link, you click that link, you type it in your phone or your browser, and it'll take you straight to a Google form. You can put a question in there. If I don't answer your question today, I promise you I will reach out via telephone or email to contact you to talk to you about your questions. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about myself. Charles Woods Jr., born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana. Proud Hoosier. Love my state, miss my city, miss my home. I have been in education now. This is my 15th year. Started off as a PE teacher. I know some people say those who can't teach PE. Whatever. I'll teach anybody on the bus any day long. Give me the subject. So started off as a PE teacher. And my path to education is not like a lot of people. So there are no educators in my family, no technical educators. My mom and my grandma are truly educators because they taught me more about life and about education, the power of education that I could ever imagine. And so I started out as a PE teacher, then moved on to become a dean. I became a dean at young, 30 years old, took over my first school at 32. That school, 600 kids. When I left, we were at 620 kids, grades K through 4. So a very, very large school. 5 sections of kindergarten. 1 was for developmental kindergarten for scholars with special needs. 4 first grades, 5 second grades, 5 third, 5 fourth, 2 self-contained special education classrooms. I was 32 years old and responsible for 70 educators and staff, because I consider everybody from the custodian to the kitchen chef to the paraprofessional, anybody that works in a school is a teacher to me, because our kids will probably develop better relationships with some of them than they will with actual classroom teachers. So, now I'm not going to do it, everybody that walked in late. I normally do like I was in college, but I won't do it. Glad y'all can make it with us. And so after I became a dean, I took over my first school, as I said, and it was more of a challenge when I first took the school over. I never wanted to be in education, so let me put that out there first. Didn't want this. There was no money in this. I remember when I told my dad, my whole life I wanted to be an engineer, electrical engineer, computer engineer. I remember when I told my dad, hey, I'm changing my major, I want to be an educator. I love my daddy. He said, boy, you stupid. No money in education, you ain't gonna be able to live, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing that you want to do. Long story short, this is the best decision that I could have ever made. My school back home, I'm going to show you some of the data about that, because I feel like when you come to a presentation, one of the things when I go to places I want to know, honestly, why should I listen to you? Like, how can I hold what you're telling me at value if you're just telling me about something? I want practical people who've been doing practical things to tell me practical things to do to make this actually work, not for me, but for the kids that we serve. And so before we dive all the way into everything, I'm going to tell you what I tell all of my teachers. Everything I do is to benefit the kids. Sometimes you'll love me for it. Sometimes you'll hate me for it. But I promise you this, I will not lose sleep at night because I know I'm making the right decision for the kid. I'm not in the business of adults. Now what I'm going to talk about will seem a little bit contradictory because you're going to be like, but what you're telling us is to do something for the people. But that all makes sense. So I want to show you some data. Now, back in Indiana, yes, we have good old standardized tests. And we won up almost every state in the country because we even have a 3rd grade reading test that kids must pass before they can move to 4th grade. You don't pass the 3rd grade reading test, you are automatically retained. Cut score is a 446. You get a 445, retain. You take it again. Now, if you take it again and you don't pass, definitely staying in third grade. Now, statistics will tell you if you dig deep into retention, and I'm not a huge fan of retention because especially for black males, if they are retained twice, there's less than a 1% chance they graduate from high school. So we're going to start retaining kids in third grade, and we hope that from then on, everything will be great. I love my state, but education has always been something that has always challenged me. So here's you look at the data. This is from the first school I was at when I was a dean. I have down here, you be the judge, coincidence or not. So I took over as the dean at Eastridge Elementary, which is about 1.5 miles away from my school where I was at in Indianapolis, Brookview Elementary. And Eastridge, when I took over as the dean, our test scores were low and behavior was off the hook. All right? Now, let me give you a side note. My mother tells me I should know how to be a principal because I spent so much time in the principal's office. Tell my mama that was on the job training, I just didn't know it back then. All right? As we're continuing to look at how do we improve achievement with scholars, it's a fact. If kids aren't in school, they're not learning. So you have to begin to change the culture and the climate of your school. And so as you look here, these are our referral numbers. I used to present this presentation with my former principal. So my first year that I took over was 2013, 2014. I like to point out to her that was her best year with discipline referrals. So I like to point that out. So there's a little credit there. We dropped from 371 to 227. Moving on, out of school suspension numbers. These were the out of school suspension numbers for that same school. That same first year we dropped to 25 scholars out of school. This is again a K-4 building. Now this is the referral data from my school that I took over when I first became a principal, Brookview Elementary. So this is referral data. One of the first things that you need to do if you're looking at impacting student achievement is you need to truly break down data. We always talk about state assessment, but your discipline data is critical. What time of day are things happening? Where are you as a building leader when those things are happening? What systems and procedures have you put in place for your teachers when those things are happening? If you're in elementary school, the majority of us know most referrals happen after what? Lunch. Lunch and recess. Now here's the reality. There's two reasons it happens after lunch and recess. One, our babies are tired, stomachs feel good, and they got a little aroma to them after from coming in and outside. The second reality is teachers are tired as well at that point. And so until we start to take that reflective approach of looking at the teachers as well, and as a building leader, doing what you need to do to keep your teachers motivated and encouraged, you're going to continue to have those problems. So the first thing I did when I took over Brookview, let me tell you about this school. So this was a school that was off the hook. Little East Side High, we call it. Very side. I went over there, and I came back to my principal, and I said, tell them I can't go. But they want you over there, you're built for it. I don't want to go. I'll stay right here and be your dean. We got something great going on. Let's keep moving. I'm scared over there. I saw kids in the hallway doing football moves. The principal and the dean were trying to chase the kid. I'm like, oh, he's got a future. He ran straight towards the principal, hit a spin move, and a split, and it was down up. It was off the hook, y'all. These 5 to 10-year-olds ran the school. And the teachers were afraid. The office was afraid. The administrators were afraid. School was so off the hook, everybody in central office was in the building one day a week. Now, I come from a large district. Warren Township has over 14,000 kids. So when I say everybody from the central office, I'm talking about one day a week the superintendent was there. And Dr. Cushenberry didn't wear her heels when she came to Brookview. She put on a pair of Crocs and something comfortable because you had to chase the kids around. Mr. Hans was over there, assistant superintendent. Mr. Ruff, all these associate superintendents, the HR director was spending one day. They were trying to provide support for the school. Now, came in, looked at their referrals. Was like, this is scary. This is ridiculous. Like to submit the questions. So as we look, the time that before I got there, this is the year that I took over. 1,071 referrals. Now keep in mind, I showed you the data from where I was as the dean. We had like 200, 300 referrals, and I felt that kept me busy all the time. I can't imagine almost 1,100 referrals. Now, I took over the school, and April. So I came over, now keep this in mind too, took over right after spring break. We all know the joy of yes, Lord. Yeah. So took over right after spring break, and we started to see some change. Hired an amazing man, Mr. Greg Butler. We became the first African-American team, male team, administration team in our district ever, and we began to do some amazing things. Really focused in on data and discipline. As you can see, we went from 1,100 referrals to 300, up to 400 again, but the decrease over the years. So very, very intentional about targeting discipline, supporting teachers, and not putting kids out of school. All right? Out of school suspension, again, this is just, I'm just trying to build the platform so you at least give me a moment of your time to listen to me. As you look at our out of school suspensions, now I love to point out this is the March before I took over. Now I need you to understand something about Indiana. Our district was on blended calendars. So here we have traditional calendar in school. I worked at year-round school. We were in school for 9 weeks, off for 2 weeks, in for 9, off for 2, in for 9, off for 3 for spring break. That was amazing. You could travel in spring break and not pay top dollar. It was beautiful. I missed that. But we were on a blended calendar. And I say that because in March, kids were only in school 14 days. You had 35 out-of-school suspension in 14 days. School was off the hook. So when I found this data, that's when I went back over there and said, please don't send me. I don't want to go. I ain't built for it. I lied. Something ain't right. I can't do it. I'm sick. Anyway, very intentional when I got over there I met with all the teachers over spring break. I said, hey, come in and talk to me. I'll be here every day. Come talk to me. And heard from the teachers what was going on. And didn't just listen, but I heard them. And I heard a group of people who weren't feeling supported. Now, in this profession, we eat teachers alive. The turnover rate for educators is ridiculous. It's almost like, if you go into education, why? Like, you're doing that for like 3 years, so what you going to do next? Like, you're not going to stick around with it. Now, through that process, learning what teachers wanted, not necessarily giving them what they wanted, because as a building leader, if you don't know, you are still a teacher. You're just an adult ed. My teachers at Friendship Goals are my students. And I treat them like that, not in a demeaning way, but I interact with my staff differently, because as you interact with students differently, you have to meet the needs of the kids, have to meet the needs of my teachers. So, anyway, we changed around discipline behavior, out of school suspensions dropped immensely, and then we started celebrating little things. So back in 2013, 2014, they had 9 days with 0 referrals. So my first year, Greg and I, we said, you know what we're going to do? We're going to celebrate the days that we have 0 referrals. So we started calculating. When we have 0 referrals, we did something small, something intricate for the teachers. There was a Dairy Queen down the street. They're always selling dilly bars like, buy 5, get 1 million free. So we would go down to Dairy Queen and we would buy them something simple, but just as a way to say thank you. We call everybody together. Thank you so much. Great job today. I know you helped out with this kiddo, whatever it may be. So we began praising the successes, and you have to start small. You're like, why is it a 0 referral day? That's a great day. To go from 9 to 44 in a year, I'll take that. That's 44 days that not one kid was sent out of class in a building of 600 kids. Yeah, we celebrate that. Next year, we have 40 of those days. Moving on. So you talk about accountability again, just giving you a little background. When I was at East Ridge, I took over as a dean, we were a D school. When I left, we were a B school. Same thing with my old school in Indianapolis down the street. When I took the Brookview over, we were a D school. When I left, we were a B school. So we talked in the previous session about you don't have to learn how to play the game. That's part of it. But even more, you need to learn how to support the people that are with you. So I want to show you a quick video. Just take a listen for me.
This, my friends, is an orange. When you squeeze it, what comes out? Orange juice, right? Why does it come out? Because that's what's inside. This is you. When life squeezes you, people poke you, say things you don't like, and what comes out of you is anger, hatred, revenge, depression. Immediately we say, they made me feel that way. So because of them, I feel this. But just like this orange, these feelings came out of us because they were already inside. So if you want to change your life, if you don't want to feel the revenge, the depression, the anger and hatred, then you've got to look inside. So that when life does squeeze you, the only thing that comes out is understanding and love. Peace.
want to show you the data just yet. How many of you have ever heard teachers say something negative about a kid? Show of hands. How many of you have ever had a teacher say something negative to you when you were a student? How many of you work in schools and there are teachers that you wouldn't put your own child in their classroom? How many of you are going into education and you know for a fact that this teacher is still teaching, you never going in their classroom again? Now, I say that because the reality is it starts with you. And that's one of the things I had to get my staff at Brookview to realize. There were things going on inside of them. There were mindsets about the kids that we served that was very problematic for me. We had an amazing young man. He spoke at the opening thing. He was in here as well. And he mentioned high poverty students. You know, I'm every statistic in the book. So just let me, single mom, raised in the ghetto. My mom has a high school GED, first generation college student on both sides of my family, multiple degrees now. My mama worked miracles with my sister and myself. She did. That doesn't negate my father, who wasn't there at first, but is now my best friend. Now, there are things with certain kids, a certain group of kids that you have to be in tune with. My kids, my scholars at my school, and something I had to train my teachers first part of the year, they're late. Okay, well, they're kindergarten, first grade, so I'm pretty sure none of them are driving. So let's start there. It's not the baby's fault that they're coming in late. That's right. It's not. Well, breakfast is over. Yeah, but he still need to eat. There's this little simple thing called Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Like, if you ain't ate. Now, I don't know about this. I said I don't like going before lunch because some of y'all gonna get a little hangry on me. And it's gonna start to come out. That's that hunger mixed with anger and it comes out. So when you're thinking about kids, the mindsets of who are coming into our building, what we're doing, who we're serving, has to shift and change. And so I had to share this with my teachers. I walked down that hallway the first couple of days and I was like, okay, yeah, at this staff meeting, we're about to have a real quick come talk to me moment. I heard things that should never be said in a school. I heard frustration, I heard anger, I heard bitterness coming out of teachers because they were tired. And we had a very open conversation. And I told them, I got in trouble because back home, the union was real strong in my district. So, and I said, listen, if this isn't where you want to be, come have a conversation. We can get you where you want to be. I will write you the most gleaming letter of recommendation I can to get you away from here. And I said it just like this with a smile. Teachers have to understand the expectation, and that expectation starts with the leader of the school. You cannot expect your teachers to love kids, to love coming to work, to be punctual coming to work, to respect when you have to work over, if you're not leading by example. That's just it. I can't expect any teacher in my building to do anything that I'm not willing to do. First few days of school, we didn't have a cafeteria person. My parent came and said, what are you doing, Mr. Woods? I said, the babies have to eat. So I put on the gloves, serving breakfast. I served lunch. Didn't have a custodian at first. I was mopping the floor. I got a custodian now, but he was gone yesterday. I had to clean up the bathroom yesterday. And I was like, you went to college with all these degrees. But it has to happen. And so building the capacity for my teachers to see what the expectation is. So when I heard those things, I had difficult conversations with teachers. You will not say that to a kid at this school. I don't care if they're black, white, Hispanic, Korean, I do not care. That will not be tolerated here. The next time I hear you say something like that, I will write you up. Sounds mean, oh, he don't like teachers. No, I don't like teachers who bully kids. You're not. And I told my staff, let's go, I said, it'll be a cold day in some place before a 5 to 10-year-old get the best of me. You're 10. Whatever you're thinking about doing, I've done it. I did it better than you anyway. But I'm not going to let you get to me. So I had to start building my teachers' capacity, giving them tools that they needed. So, new kids on the block. Charter school down the street. Everybody don't like charters. That's okay. We love you anyway. I always like to ask people, hey, raise your hand if you drive a Ford. Oh, 4? Oh, we don't even like fix or repair days to be.
Right.
4. Fix 4 repair days. Somebody like, I ain't get that. Think about that. That's old school. Where my Chevy drivers? How about my foreign cars? I won't call them because Mercedes, Infinities, all those beautiful things. The whole point of that is you selected a vehicle based on your choice, based on what you wanted. Now Ford makes amazing vehicles. I'm in a Ford rental right now. Love it. It's fully loaded. I won't buy it because I don't want a car payment. But we all choose. So for the proponents and the opponents of charter schools, understand we're not here to steal the kids. We're not here to put public education. We're public. That baby shows up at my door, I'm educated. I can't speak for other charter networks, but I can speak for Friendship, which made me pick up 14 years of what I knew and leave and pick my family up and move to Arkansas where we have no family, no friends, and we ain't know what Arkansas was about. I say that because when we first came on the scene, there was a lot of talk. People comparing us to previous charter schools that had been in the city. It's neither here nor there. I know what I expect out of a school and what a school should look like, feel like, and sound like. So, here's the data for the new kids on the block. What you will find about us going throughout this time of our time here in Pine Bluff, which will be forever and ever, if you haven't noticed, you don't build $1 million building and be like, hey, we're going to leave in a couple of years.
Right.
Our roots are here now. So this is public. I've asked people to talk to me about this. That's our data. That's our NWA data for our kindergartens. When we took the beginning of the year assessment, I was scared. I ain't gonna lie. Because we talked about it earlier, we had kids who couldn't recognize letters, couldn't recognize numbers. And they weren't just in kindergarten, they were in first grade. Then I also had a new staff. And they weren't licensed. I'm licensed. I got a reciprocal license from Indiana and Arkansas in special education, physical education, education leadership. Doesn't mean anything. We took this data and we started working. What'd you do differently? Well, we're departmentalized. Believe it or not, our 5- and 6-year-olds change classes every day. Because what I know about education, being outside of the box, is it's a lot of work to teach all of the subject areas. And to become what we like to call in Friendship a SME, a subject matter expert. My math teacher, she's a rock star. She teaches math to kindergarten classes 3 times a day. Same lesson. She tweaks it. It's adjusted for those kids that are coming in. When I'm having PD for guided reading, she's still there because I need her to understand how important this is. But she's lesson planning. She's focusing on the data for her math kiddos. Same thing with my guided reading teacher and my English language arts teacher. So we went to work and we grew. I tell my staff, I said, this stuff you can write books off of right here. Like, I can just retire right now and go just be a consultant everywhere. But we're not done. Because see, unlike the state, like I'm not okay with low bars for our kids. That's not the goal. The goal, reality, I would love to have 100%, but I understand as an educator, every kid won't be able to pass that test. I'm okay with that. We have to be okay with that to understand that every kid is not going, no child left behind. I'm so glad it's gone. You can cover up whatever you want to call it. But that's not a reality. If you work this profession, you know that for a fact. So what we saw with our data our first year, increase in percent of proficiency from 35 to 57, an increase in proficiency in math from 37 to 59, 75% of our scholars met their growth goals in ELA, and 65% of our scholars met their growth goals in mathematics. So we take NWA math, national tests. I've been familiar with NWA for at least 5-6 years now. I love it because it's tailored to the kid. So if you know anything about the test, kid starts to take the test, it finds what's called the zone of proximal development. It's looking for that sweet spot for learning for that kid. So a kid who's in kindergarten, who's operating at a 2nd grade level, they're getting questions from 2nd grade. Then they're compared to all the kids in the country who take the test, and then they're compared to the kids within our school. Our 1st grade data, again, when we first saw it was like, okay, we have work to do. We didn't say, I quit, I lied, I don't really want to be a principal in Arkansas, time for me to go back home. Hey, can I get that job back that I left? No, I said we have work to do. And we became very intentional about giving our teachers professional development. We thought about logistics. I thought about logistics before the school year started. our day, our teachers have lunch, prep, and recess all at the same time every day. So from 11 to 12:30, my teachers, and it sounds real evil, they're mine. But it wasn't that mindset. How can we give you PD during the course of the day so it doesn't impact classroom instruction? So we thought about logistics beforehand because we knew we were going to have to grow our teachers. During my time first got here, I talked to Interim Dean Russ. We talked to educators around the city. So we knew there was the need for professional development was there. So we take it and make it a point to give them that professional development so that they can grow. Our first grade data is right there. It's out there. We stand by it. We don't, and I forgot to say when I was talking about my discipline data, I don't cook the books. I would have loved to have been like at the start of the year, it was at 70%. No, I don't cook the books. The numbers are what they are. And the issue is not we had 34% of our first graders who were proficient in ELA at the start of the year. The issue would have been if that would have been the same at the end of the year or would have decreased. Because it means two things happen. One, and I get very personal with this, my scholars didn't learn. Two, my teachers didn't teach. Something's got to change. So, real quick, who are you? Where are my elementary educators or aspiring elementary educators? No, I see, there we go. My secondary people, middle school, high school, bless you, love y'all. Can't do it. I think about myself in middle school and high school. Woo-wee. Collegiate level, our professors, those who are training those of us continually to be better at what we do. Just love education, you're in the room. All right, central office administrators, superintendents, social superintendents, counselors. So a wide array, how was that? Students? Extension. What was that? Librarian. Teaching, librarian, yes ma'am. Institutional data, okay. So, today when you walk away, because you always want to know what am I going to take away from this, I'm going to give you 4 things that you can do. From an administrator level, even from a teacher level. If you want to be a teacher leader, you can jot these things down, you can take them back to your principal, and you can look like the superstar. Hey, can I get your ear for a moment? I have this idea that I'd like to run by you. And I'll even start it up myself. Listen, I am one of those people. This thing is bigger than Charles and Wood Jr. For me, what I do is my mission field. So take it, use it. If you want to bring me to your school, my family will appreciate that. My kids' 529 plans will appreciate that. Work something out at a later date. But I want to walk you through 4 things so you need to establish school culture. Support, communicate, appreciate, and relationships. Support, communicate, appreciate, and relationships. Now don't panic, because they'll be in big bold letters on the next slide if you didn't get to write them all down right now. So, I was going to show this video clip. This is a video clip from Facing the Giants. Anybody ever seen Facing the Giants? Ever seen the death crawl scene? Where he has him blindfold his player and he has him bear card, he has a person on his back, and he charges him to go 10 yards, but he really makes him go to the length of the football field. What I love about this clip is the coach. As a leader, as a teacher, you are that coach. If you're the administrator in the building, it's your job to be right there in the trenches with the teachers. You're a leader, you cannot run a school from your office. It's not possible. You can do a lot of stuff, but running a school ain't one of them. You can answer emails, you can look busy, but you can't run a school from your office. You must be visible. You must be accessible to parents. Tell all parents, I don't hide behind my secretary. If she tells you I'm really in a meeting, I promise you, you're going to see me walk out, somebody else is going to walk out, then I'm going to invite you in. But you won't find me sitting in my office. If you're a teacher, you can't just stay up here the whole time and expect them to get it. You have to be in the trenches with them. When it gets difficult, where are you? When that kid begins to act out because it's difficult and they don't know how to express to you, this is too hard, I don't understand it, where are you? So this clip, I will show up, we're going to save it for time, but it's about him being in the trenches with his players on his football team. And that's so critical for what we do, and especially as building leaders. So your support. Here's the thing you do when you want to support your teachers. This is that first bold word, that's 1 and 4. Recognize your teachers. And that can be the smallest and slightest things. So please keep in mind, as I say, teachers, if you're going to have students, keep these things in mind and do with your kids as well. There's nothing like the scholar of the week in your classroom. When the baby gets to bring the poster board in or the baby pictures and you just acknowledging them, praising them, guess what? Teachers love it too. Adults still love it. One of the most powerful things I do, I ask for my staff, like, don't tell my teachers I'm going to do this because they don't know this just yet. But I have all of their contact information. Next week during Teacher Appreciation Week, I'm going to call their parents or their significant other and thank them. When my teachers bring their kids, I know they have kids who go to our school, I tell them, do you know how awesome your mom is? I know I take her away from you a lot, but what she's doing here is really making the lives of a lot of kids better. So recognize your teachers. Have a staff of the month. Do shout outs. Go to the classroom, take a picture of them, post them on Facebook. Anybody seen our Facebook page? Anybody seen? Yeah, I don't even do Facebook, but our Facebook page is kind of nice. I might be biased because I run the Facebook page. Shh, don't tell nobody. All right. Make sure you push and support. You push and you support. And it's a balance. You can't just be an administrator or a teacher who pushes kids or push teachers and just tell them, do. But you don't provide support to them. Just like kids, teachers often don't know how to do what you're asking them to do. So I tell my teachers, what started this year was, how can I support you? Hey, I walked in my teacher's classroom. Hey, this was a mindset we'd already created. Hey, you're struggling with this. Can I take over for you for a moment? Because I don't want you to fail in front of our kids. So let me take over. You watch me, and I'm going to coach you through this process. I'm going to help you become a great teacher. So making sure that you're supporting your teachers, supporting your kids. And sometimes that means, hey, yeah, you administrator, you can't roll out when the school day ends. Because teachers, bless you, always have questions after school. It's the only time I get to email. And they come in there with their questions, but I stop and give them my attention. Because these are the people who are in the trenches doing the work for the kids. You need to make sure you build and then repair and rebuild. How many of you have had someone along the way that hurt you in the education world? You just like cut them off. Not like church hurt, just like you just cut them off. Like I ain't never, she can run out of paper all she wants. I ain't giving her 2 sheets of paper for nothing. I ain't telling her when the principal coming around with the laptop to do observation. I ain't telling her nothing else. Repair and rebuild relationships. Build your teachers up, build your kids up, and repair and rebuild those relationships. The most powerful words a teacher can say to their student is, I'm sorry. The most powerful words that a principal can say to their staff is, I'm sorry. You're not going to be perfect. Take the time to repair and rebuild any broken relationships. Because hurt people what? Hurt people. So you got a teacher that you've come down hard on. You got to have that courageous conversation with. And then you just write them off. You don't go back behind and try to support them and build them up. They're hurting the kids that are in the classroom. Availability. I talked about that, being available. Work and rest. TV to be announced or decided another late time. So I've gotten a little better at this. My family, one of the big reasons why I left my school where I was at was because there was no work-life balance. So I have an amazing queen in home who takes care of my baby. She's working now. And we have a 5th grader and a 6th grader. Now, I had the beauty of my babies being in my school. I told you I was at high poverty schools. We were 78% poverty. I forgot to say that earlier. In the hood, but my babies were at my school. Because I knew the great teachers in my building. And maybe that's the perk of being the principal. But guess who my kids had? They were in those classrooms. Now, so when they were there from kindergarten through 4th grade, my kids were with me all day. But then my son moved on to 5th grade. Back in Indy, the school was K-4. Then we had 5th and 6th grade academies, 7th and 8th grade middle schools, and then the high school from 9 to 12. I was not finding that balance. Running 70 staff members, responsible for everybody's evaluation. Because Greg, I love him, and I was mad at him. I helped Greg took over his first school 2 years after being my dean. So then I had a brand new dean. Now, just like teachers, I ain't really trust this new dean with everything we had built, so I kind of piecemeal stuff to him. So it was very time consuming. But this is critical for anybody in our profession. You must find balance. The kids will always have a need. The teachers will always have a need. But you have to find a balance. My staff knows, hey, Saturday, after Friday when I leave here, y'all can expect an email from me Sunday evening. I'll send you my weekly newsletter, because I send my staff a weekly newsletter every week. But I am going to be Charles and Hope's daddy and Michelle's husband. But now, if it's an emergency, something happens, definitely let me know. But at the same time, I'm not going to bother you. Go enjoy your family. Remember, oh, come on, this video thing. So Prince EA, if you don't, he's one of the people I mentioned later that I follow. I love this clip. And for the sake of time, because it's 11:04, we're going to keep moving. This clip talks about whether you're living to work or whether you're working to live or living to work. And it's talking about finding balance. There's statistics about how many people have vacation days and never take them. Like, listen to me. Listen to me. You got vacation days. Hey, you can't take them with you. All my sick days I have back home, over 140 some days, I left them. Now, I ain't saying like call in to work, just, no. And we all have done it. We've all practiced the call before we call. I don't think I'm going to make it today. Well, you ain't sick. All right. I saw your Facebook post. Anyway, make sure you balance your work life. Find that balance. If you're a teacher, we have the beauty of having days when we're out of school. Take advantage of those moments. All right? Next big bullet point is communicate. I am going to play this video because this one's important to me. Staff meetings. We have, every other week we have bi-weekly staff meetings, and these aren't managerial staff meetings where I stand up there and read, please make sure to turn in attendance before 8 o'clock every day. Please be at your post no later. No. It's PD. It's based on what I've seen in the building, what I've seen from our data, and we're going to attack it in this hour. And you're going to walk out here as my teacher equipped with something to do, and you're going to be tasked with something. So I'm going to say, hey, when I come back to your room next week, remember, we just talked about how to utilize the Chromebooks during differentiated instruction. I want to see your kids. Listen, I know you're not comfortable with technology, and I'm okay with that. I'm going to come back behind you to help support you, going back to that previous thing, on how to make sure that happens for our kids. I want to share this clip from Eric Thomas. Anybody ever heard of Eric Thomas? Great motivational speaker.
So he went to this guru, right? And he told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level...
Oh, don't do that. Sorry, that's that exclamation point. I'm sorry.
To this guru, right? And he told the guru, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach at 4 a.m. He liked the beach. I said, I want to make money. I don't want to swim. Guru said, if you want to make money, I'll meet you tomorrow, 4 a.m. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit. He should have wore shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out into the water, it goes waist deep. So he like, this guy crazy. Adrian, he's like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He's making money, but he crazy. He said, come on out a little further. He came out a little further. It was right at his mouth. My man like, I'm about to go back in here. This God is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man getting scratching, holding him down. I got you. I know you brushed it out, but I got you. He had him held down. I need you for an illustration. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. Somebody answer the question for me. He said, when you were underwater, what did you want to do? Lee, I'm looking for a different word though than live. What's that word? Said I wanted to breathe. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful.
Love that. First time I heard it changed my mindset as a building leader. When you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then, so you go back to those 34%, oh, it was time to work. Put in work. Because every one of my scholars deserve it. And a side note, I know each and every one of my scholars by name. If you're a building leader, no excuse for you not to know your kids. Not just those ones who like to come hang out with us. You need to know your kids. When you want to succeed that bad, you'll find success. That's critical. Think about it. He goes on to talk about if you're an asthmatic, when you can't breathe, what's one thing you try to get to that inhaler so you can do what? Breathe. Breathe. It's a necessity. And we have to want that type of passion and success for our kids. Staff meetings, I've talked about that. Staff newsletter, weekly newsletters to staff. I tell them what's going on. There's like the first part is, hey, here's the happenings of the week. Next part is a nice picture. Try to find a funny picture or a funny link to something. Make teachers laugh. Then there's always something inspirational and thought-provoking. And then I write a short message to my staff every week based on, again, the things that I've seen in the classroom. So this past one was, it's not time to let our foot off the gas. So, okay, we've achieved, yay! Hey, we still got school to May 31st. We need to keep pushing. Because I know kids have what's called the summer slide. So here's what we're going to do at Friendship. My kindergarten teacher, I need you to get some of that first grade material. Start teaching that to our babies. My first grade teacher, grab that second grade material. Let's start teaching our kids. Now look at our kids. What do they score? Okay. Who was actually above second grade? Okay. So these three are above second grade. Let's grab here. No problem. Here you go. Work on this with them. Hey, PE teacher, come here. I know you just teach PE during the day, and that's fine. And I understand that, and I respect that because I used to be a PE teacher. But no, come here. Remember those small group trainings you sat in? I need you to grab these three kids right here and work with them. Hey, paraprofessional, teacher, you back here at that small group? Don't just work with our kids who are not performing. Work with everybody. Because as a parent of gifted and talented kid myself, my expectation for a teacher is to grow her a year. Now, if you do more than that, amazing. Every kid has to grow. Everything you say and don't say communicates your philosophy. So as a teacher, the stuff that you tolerate in class that you don't address, as a building leader, the stuff that you let teachers say and do and you don't say anything about it, communicates how you really feel about it. When I first became a principal, one of my deacons at church, he told me, he said, heavy is the head that wears the crown. I was like, yeah, you know, this school got your promotion for my family. Came back about 2 weeks later, like my head hurt. It's every day is something different. But what you don't say communicates your philosophy. So when you see garbage taking place in your building, communicates your philosophy. Communicates what you will tolerate, what you will accept. And then that message gets out to the community. Know your audience. As you must know who you're interacting with. You must know how to reach them. I'm 6'2", 212 pounds. My babies, my kindergartners, even when I'm providing discipline, which is teaching, if you look at the root of discipline, is to teach. I don't tower over them to intimidate them. Kneel down. They're hurt. Kneel down. Know your audience. Know your parents. Know your parent that works, that gets up at 6 in the morning and has to go. What can you do to make sure that everything's taken care of? Drink the Kool-Aid. Now, this is one thing I used to do. I'm not doing it here. I kind of gave myself Jim Jones, had some people drink some Kool-Aid. Didn't work out so well for a lot of those people. Not in a mean way. But I tell my staff to drink the Kool-Aid. And what I tell them is, I know the best Kool-Aid flavor in the world. It's not, so it's going to get cultured, it's not red Kool-Aid. All right? It's a mixture of Kool-Aid that will give you the best flavor ever. But it doesn't look good. So you don't believe me? Mix grape. Right now, this is the best thing in the presentation right here. I'm going to change your Kool-Aid life. I still drink Kool-Aid. I don't put as much sugar in it, though. Body's changing. Grape, orange, a pack of lemonade, and tropical punch. Woo-wee. Now your Kool-Aid gonna come out about the color of that door. It's not gonna look appealing, but the taste is right. And so as a teacher, you have to get your kids to drink the Kool-Aid of what you're trying to establish in your room. As a leader, you have to get your staff to drink the Kool-Aid. I showed my staff, I told them, hey, I don't say it a lot, but I turned around 2 schools. Wasn't me by myself, but I know what it takes to move kids and move teachers. So what I'm saying is, jump on board and run with me if you want to. But there's a formula, there's a process to how we do this, because I know it will give us results. So trust me, drink the Kool-Aid. Your people must buy in, not just buy in, they must commit to what you're doing. There's a couple businesses that I've bought in, you put some money in, like we all probably retirement plans. You don't really watch your stock. You got the money there, you get your report, you're like, oh yeah, I made some money. Now when you're invested and you're committed to something, like I'm committed to that paycheck every 2 weeks. Like I need to know that it made it where it was supposed to be. I'm expecting something. And that expectation leads me to do different things and to operate differently. So don't just get people to buy in, get them to commit to what you're doing. And if they're not willing to commit, have the tough conversation. Oh, it's still on the video. That's what I call a video, y'all. It ain't Indiana thing. Appreciate your people. So this is the part that seems a little frou-frou sometimes. Now, I'm not a big fan of giving kids a piece of candy for everything. Piece of candy, piece of candy, piece of candy, piece of candy. It works sometimes, but everybody likes extrinsic motivation. Now, when I first went to my first school, we started talking about this. They was like, I don't believe in buying the kids what they want, and I don't believe in giving them external motivation. I said, that's a lie. I said, because every 2 weeks, the district makes a deposit, and if that external motivation wasn't enough for you, you wouldn't be here. So we all believe that. We all believe that. Now, as a leader, you must appreciate your teachers. And not just during the first week of May when it's Teachers Appreciation Week. Because it's May, like they've been working since August, sometimes since July, like they've been doing amazing things all year. So gifts, I'm gonna show you some examples of gifts that I give out to staff, your words, your actions, and then knowing the love language. Now, I'm not talking like do a book study on Chapman's 5 love languages and getting all kind of politically correctness trouble. No. But you need to know, I know there are teachers in my building who, I had a teacher yesterday who ran a meeting for me because I had to leave because said I'm in a rental car right now, somebody ran into my wife's car, whatever. When she walked in today, I had her 2 favorite treats on her desk, just as a thank you. Cost me $2 and some change. But she appreciated it. When she walked out of the room and saw me this morning, she smiled, thank you, Mr. Woods. No, thank you. Enjoy that small treat on me. Now, where I'm from, dudes don't do a lot of pinning on Pinterest. Can't just tell my boys, like, hey, y'all, I'm on Pinterest. That's not what we do. But there's great ideas on Pinterest. Great ideas on Pinterest, man. You better save them and pin them. Now, if you don't want your boys to know you're on Pinterest, just go and create a new name. Don't let them know what you're on there. But there is a folder I have that is for teacher appreciation. So these 2 quotes, I love these. A person who feels appreciated will always do more than what is expected. That is so true. You think by any job you had, those people who you felt like they appreciate the work that I do, I'll go the extra mile for them. I tell my bosses, I'm going to keep us out of the news, I promise you. We're going to be good down here. Don't you worry about what's going on. You focus on Little Rock, I got this down here. But some examples. Now here's the thing. You have to come out of your pocket every now. Ain't no other way to put it. I told you at the beginning I'm a teacher. I just teach adult ed. So just like a classroom teacher, you buy things for your students. As a leader, you buy things for your staff. All right, now, I'm not saying extravagant. Like, you're not buying somebody a Tiffany's bracelet or paying their car note, something crazy like that. But it's the little things. So these 3 examples I have right here. This one is one of those sippy, I call it an adult sippy cup. And we all probably got an adult sippy cup with the straw. And if you got people that live in your house, somebody broke your straw or changed the straw, so you get mad about it. No, it ain't that deep. It's just an adult sippy cup. But inside of it, so out here it says you're a star, and then inside I put a pack of Starburst. Bought them at Sam's Club, had a staff, like I said, 70 people. Buy 2 of those at Sam's Club, put it in there. So order the cups off Amazon. Love Amazon. Not paid by them, I could be paid by them as much as we spend there. This one, this was a gift during Teachers Appreciation Week. It's a dish with star, and inside of it are raw, uncut diamonds, and then some that are shaped like diamonds. I need y'all to understand. We ain't balling like this. It's not real. Right? No shape, form, or fashion is any of that real. That's real glass in that dish. But when I did this, I wrote a poem for my teachers. Poetry is one of my outlets. And I wrote a poem talking about their diamonds in the rough and how pressure has to be applied to a diamond to produce something. And so, again, like I would walk in my teacher's room and would see their star dish right there. Telling me you are rock stars and you're diamonds in the rough. Or you're a diamond. You've been shining through for my teachers who've been with me from day one, who are moving and grooving. Had a local baker back home. I love a good sweet tooth. Anything lemon. My birthday was just a couple weeks ago, so if anybody's feeling generous, like lemon things. I miss Margaret's cupcakes. I'm probably gonna stop by there before I go back to campus. Yes, I tell you, that's the devil. I'm sorry. See, I get distracted. It's cake pops. You make our school pop. Buying those. More examples. There's a cake pop again. Inside this bag, this one is Dove. It says you are a, no, this is a Take 5. This is the front and the back. It says Take 5, well done. So there's a Take 5 candy bar in the bag. This, I just recently did this for my staff up here. They loved it. It was a candy buffet for teachers. Now, may have been strategic. It was on the Friday before spring break. So you know what the energy of the babies was like on that Friday before spring break. So I gave my teacher sugar to keep them amped up too. And strategically, didn't nobody make their way to the office on that Friday. So the small things again, this, you're one in a million. Bought some pens, gave me, teachers love colored ink pens. It's just the reality of life. Some more examples. When I get new teachers, I build them a new teacher survival kit. So put little things in there. Here's a little note that we used to use. This says Robin and Tamika. That was my old principal. I couldn't find my picture, so I used hers. Buy a variety pack of pop, soda. I don't know what we call it down here in the South just yet. What we call it? Soda. We call it pop. All right. So soda. And then on top of those again, like, so all of these tags, Pinterest. But on top of here it says, I love everything you do. Cut that out, put it on top of a Mountain Dew can. Root beer, thanks for always rooting for me. I'm your biggest fan. Put that on top of a can of Fanta. All those little things. This was the Wall of Fame. Our PT actually did this for staff. There was an app. They took everybody's picture and made a character out of everybody. I didn't personally like mine. You can't really see mine. It's right here. But I love a good sweater vest. So I had on my sweater vest that day. They had me in the sanctuary with like doves flying around. And I felt like I was Prince. I like when doves. I was like, no, I'm not really feeling my picture. But the staff loved it. So there are other examples on there. So at Christmas time, you can buy wrapping paper from the dollar store. I gave, who doesn't need extra wrapping paper at Christmas time? Gave that out to staff. One year, I loved it. I bought mason jars for everybody. And I wrote everybody's name on the top of it, their initials on top. And then throughout the year, periodically, I would fill it with different things. So one of the pictures I have on here, it shows, it says just some Snickers and Joy. So I put Snickers and Almond Joy in the jar. So my teachers knew to fill it up. I put it in their mailbox, and then once they emptied it, I come back and pick it up, and then I would refill it again at a later date. There we go. Questions? Climate versus culture. Those are two different. A lot of times in education we use them interchangeably, but they are not interchangeable. There we go. So I'm going to show you those quick pictures real quick as it's coming back, and we got to move because it's time to eat. And I don't want y'all to rate me bad on the eval because I ain't let y'all go eat. He ain't let us out. So here are some of those examples. Yeah, I know the facts, y'all. I done done it before. That's why I say it. So understand that your climate and culture are different. Your culture will take time. And if you are a new administrator or a new teacher going into a place, you never slaughter the sacred cow the first year. Don't go in and just uproot everything. Observe. Take in. Ask your stakeholders. That magic word we say in education, ask them what they want to see different. Your climate, that's just the attitude of everybody. So it's flexible, it's easy to change, it's based on perceptions. These kids can't learn. Okay, that's a problem. because they can, and it's a mindset issue. Members, the culture, they cannot feel it. We'll keep moving on. This one is what I want to get to, the changing of the culture. It's a daily struggle. Daily. And this is one of the reasons I came down to Pine Bluff to open our school, because we were only K-1 the first year. If this was a K-5 charter, I would have never left. It's hard to establish culture in that. So it's a daily struggle. Recognize what you can't see, how to sustain it, and you have to give them a why. I love the iceberg. Like, everybody knows the Titanic sank because of iceberg, but that's just literally like the phrase, the tip of the iceberg, that's only what you can see. There's so much underneath it. And oftentimes our kiddos and what we see, you see the behavior, but there's so much else underneath that caused the behavior. I had kids when I had my fourth graders, they didn't respond well to me. So you know who I remind them a lot of? A man that wasn't there no more. So you have to understand what's underneath to really get to where it's going. Another great video by Eric Thomas, What is Your Why? Challenges that attack culture. Standardized testing, it's not going anywhere, y'all. It's not. If you do some research, the person who actually invented standardized testing says that it should be done away with because it's cruel and rude, and it's cruel and mean. It's not going anywhere. Money, teacher evals. I want to speak to this real quick. I believe in the 2 G's with evaluation. As a leader, either you're looking to grow your teachers or you're looking to get your teachers. I don't have time to get people. I'd rather spend my time growing people. So as a leader, if you're going in any type of body, in any type of evaluation situation, make sure that you have the right mindset, because you can go in whatever classroom it is. It can be your rock star teacher and find something wrong if that's what you're looking for. Don't Do They, Do You. It's a great video by stop it. Russell Westbrook, who I think should be the MVP again. If you're not a basketball fan, it was a series a couple years ago. He had a commercial where he says, "Don't do they, do you." And in that, it's talking about they say don't do this. They say don't do that. They say don't hire people who don't have a license. They say growing kids is not possible. They say success is not possible. I don't do they. Do you. And commit to that. And stick to it. And get your people around you to do that. The other part of this is relationships. This picture is so powerful. You can zoom in on that. What you'll see is these are very harmful words being said to a kid. And it's shaping that child's mind. Words can inspire and words can destroy. Choose yours well. Real quick before we got it, that's it. I'm not going to show this video either because I really need a good eval because I want them to bring me back. So, any questions for me? If you submit a question on the link, I'm going to put that back up if I can. Well, I'm going to show you this first. Those are people, if you're in education, if you haven't heard any of those people, please look them up. Great people, great leaders, great people talking about education, changing things. Any questions, comments, concerns before we go? Because he's holding up the gold. Look at the gold bag. Oh, it's doing my mom.
But I have something for you. Thank you for your awesome presentation.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Anybody else? I appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you for dealing with me. If you have questions, I have cards up here. You can feel free to come up here and talk to me. I'll answer any questions. Have a great day. Don't knock me because I went a few minutes over, y'all. Like, we ain't start on time. I could put all that in there.